morning.
Good morning.
We did an after dark episode. Now we're doing a bright and early episode.
Okay.
Different vibes. Okay. How are you?
Okay.
You know, the other day I was laughing with Amma. We were talking about Kris Jenner, and then she was like, Amma was like, oh, what if your father does that? And then I was like, oh, I guess we'll just keep on living.
I'll take all your handbags.
No, not allowed. Get your own. You just can't come into our lives and take all our handbags. Like, we built a system, we exchanged them, we spent 6 months with them, we returned them. Between me, Aisha, and Amma, there's a system. Okay?
You just have to include me.
I don't know about all that. Okay. So the topic for this episode is about this. It's called Keep On Keeping On. Like how we just keep on going. Whatever happens, you just gotta keep on living. You just gotta get through it. And how do we do that joyfully, as easily?
You see, I think that question itself is wrong, Keep on going, keep on
Keep
living.
on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on,
Yeah.
right? Why did you create a life that you had to endure? Give an example. Let's say if I'm gardening, I'll keep on doing. That means I failed to find how to enjoy it, isn't it? Like keep on, is that what you said?
Keeping on.
Keeping on. If you are just like, okay, I'll just go through this, I'll just suffer through this. I have a feeling I'm not saying there's no value to that statement, but I'm saying overall, if that's how you are approaching life, you have made it difficult. I think the skill in life is not to like, okay, I can do this, I'll keep on doing this. No, it's to find a way to make it exciting, find a way to not to feel like you are enduring something. Like let's say, give an example. You go to the gym, okay, I got to do this, I got to do squat, I got to do treadmill, I got to do this. If you are in that mode in a gym, the first excuse to quit you might, if you make it fun, if you can make it fun, you can make it exciting, the bigger chance of you staying true to it is more, right? So can I say probably we have to learn the skill how to enjoy our life, how to make our life exciting, how to make our life meaningful, right? Like people go fishing, they don't say, okay, we will, unless it's a fisherman who makes a living out of it. Most people, I want to go fishing. Why is there such a difference? Now say, I have to read books. Why the I have to?
I mean, I feel like those are examples where it's very perspective based, right? But then you look at something like my friend who had cancer, or somebody who lost a person in their life unexpectedly. Suddenly something big happens, and you feel like you couldn't live without it, but you keep on living.
That means that is the last straw that broke the camel's back. I'm not saying tragedies don't happen. I'm not saying difficult time don't come. But isn't there also something else there? One part of life goes wrong, but the rest comes to rescue it. I think what you want to talk about today is how to make life exciting, how to make life more. My perspective on that, how to make life exciting, if your life is a constant discovery of you, if your life is not an action of preservation, but an action of discovery and expansion. If every day you are discovering and you're expanding and your horizon moves, I think you will be very excited to live. I think it happens is when the horizon disappears and you're facing a wall. So I'm trying to direct you to think this way. How can I be that life is exciting? We all run into things we don't want to do. We all run into things we have to endure. I don't know, if I go to the gym many times, okay, let's just do this, let's get on with it. But I can tolerate that and do that because my entire other aspect of my life is blooming. Like those days, if I work 18 hours a day or travel all over the world, I always have to come home to you guys. My goal is no matter how difficult, how tiring it is, and I like what I do, But even then, if there's tough moment, I can come back home to you guys. That was that hell, the whole thing. That I could go through hell without it becoming a hell. So by the time somebody says, what is it? Move on.
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. You have busted everything else. Like somebody say, oh, I go to work, my work is tough. I said, don't you have friends at work? Don't you have things that you're doing that is making you discover you?
I definitely also try to have that attitude, but some days it just feels like, all right.
Then your statement is valid. But it's a day out of many.
Yeah.
Not that is the many.
Yeah,
out of a few days of excitement. So there's a master in the past, Atish, I always quote him. He says, rely on a happy frame of mind. How can you keep yourself happy? How can you keep yourself happy? How can you keep your energy going, doing the same thing over and over again? How? Is what you got to figure out. To me, it is learning, exploring, discovering, finding new direction. I can stay with a question for 10 years. It's like my PhD. And everything I do can become a base of that discovery, right?
Yeah.
I think what happens to people is they don't actively participate in making life. It can be, I was just giving a talk just now. Maybe I'll run it here. There is 3 aspects if you pay attention to. You will flow in a very exciting way. First, you don't get pulled down by negativity. 2, you're paying attention to personal victory. Am I growing? Am I getting better? Am I improving? Am I shaping up? Have you seen, I used this example of that. In the gym, people go, they check the body, and that's what keeps them going, Is my bicep improved? They keep watching the growth, not the stagnation, right? Second is personal victory. Third is the ultimate of what you think is ultimate. If these 3 are aligned, I am fighting my negativity, I'm living a life of integrity, of growing, and I have an ultimate vision of what can be, I think you would live an exciting life. When that is removed from you, all you have is this. Of course, we have to use that word you're using. What is that? Move on, carry on. What is
Keeping
it?
on.
Huh?
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. I need somebody to hold up like that. These statements I've never heard. Keep
You
on.
never heard it before. Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. That looks like one can't lose his weight.
Oh gosh.
Keep on keeping on. You see.
That's me in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Keep eating.
Keep eating.
Keep getting
What
fatter.
else to do here?
Yeah.
Best food in the world.
Day by day, I feel myself getting fatter and fatter.
So am I taking responsibility to make my life exciting? Isn't it? You see, when I was younger and compared to you guys, I feel like the ceiling is low now,
Ceiling.
Ceiling is low. Ceiling is low. Before, there was such a distance to travel, that. There was such a journey, Now, I think when so much is accessible, there is nothing people are looking forward to, They just...
Instant gratification. Like, it's just more rampant.
There's nothing looking forward to. Everything is burnt out. I think, but I think it is your responsibility to hold you in a happy frame of mind. It's your responsibility to find a way to be excited. Find a way. If not, then you have to tolerate. And if you tolerate long enough, eventually you burn out, And that's the whole depression and anxiety and the whole thing. Everything goes. There's no reason to get up in the morning.
But I guess I'm asking this question, right? Because if you can define the keeping on as whatever you may define it as. But sometimes it's also having the energy to keep being an active participant in your life, to keep being joyful, to keep being this creator
Do
of
you
your
think
life.
it is just going to happen or you have to do something about it?
I think you have to do something about it, but I also think that like sometimes it is very difficult to keep
Agreed.
going.
Agreed. But you must find a way.
Like there's always this feeling, at least for me, sometimes I feel like I'm so tired of being good, I just want to be bad. Like, and you just don't want to try. It's not that you don't enjoy the outcome, you do, but you're just tired and it's like effort.
Now, why did it get to the point it was tiring? That means you were doing something you are unresolved doing. You are doing something against you.
Like, you know that like going to bed at 10, waking up at 7, having 3 good meals a day, 2 snacks, work out 4 times a week, see your friends, see your family, get to work.
But is that all?
That is not all.
No, hang on. You have been indoctrinated for people who want to show off and look to the world. You are making something that is minimal everything. No, that's not everything. You do all that for something more.
Yes, I agree. I agree. All of those things facilitate like a better state of living and all of that. I get it.
But the way you are speaking as though it is not established.
Okay, I just feel I'm a bit tired. But no, I agree. I agree. I'm not in disagreement with you at all. But sometimes like I know that if I do all these things, I will be a happier person. I know the reason.
No, I feel you are still talking about being indoctrinated to an idea. What really makes you happy? What is that you are flowing towards? Like, I think in your case, you don't want to be limited. You want to expand. You want to grow. But I think you are subjected by a surrounding that's saying, why are you doing that? And you're biting into that poison. You wanted to grow. From young, I know you want to expand. You want to expand your horizon. You don't want to remain the same person. Somewhere, I think you quit that, or somebody talked you out of it, or there was a suggestion not to go there. Now, what you are doing is, that's the ramification of it, or the result of it. That you're saying, maybe I just quit. Maybe I just be bad. Maybe
bad.
You have been made to betray what keeps you alive. And maybe that's the subject. You are buying into all these stocks that these people are selling. Oh, eat 3 meals a day, work out, look beautiful. For what? That what was never established. Like somebody comes to me and says, I want to go to the gym, I want to work out. Like I want to remain healthy and feel young, I suppose. Not young, but why? I got so much to do. I'm looking forward to finishing the research. I'm looking forward to building what I'm building. But let's say somewhere I was talked out of it. Somewhere I was made unfaithful to it. In time, I have this feeling, why don't get rid of it? I have a feeling, this new age, you are exposed to silly things. Ideas of diets and this and that. No, that is important, but that's not everything. Like somebody was telling me, I do yoga. I said, why are you doing yoga? No, yoga is amazing. I know. Why? Yoga is nothing but what you do to facilitate a higher cause of living. By itself, it cannot have value.
But what I'm saying is that all these, it's not that I don't enjoy all the little things that I do in order to facilitate, because I like to exercise because it makes me feel really good. I didn't know I had low blood pressure and that's why I need to exercise so much. But I do it because I like how I feel afterwards. Like I like what it brings to my body, a stronger body, to do more things that I want to do. But there's also just a part of me that's like super lazy and just doesn't want to do anything.
And I think, you know why that super lazy? You are subjecting yourself to something you didn't agree. It is a popular notion. You are persuaded to go with the popular, and by that you become unfaithful to you. You understand? They made the small thing big. It's like this. Go to the gym and work out. Why? Gym itself cannot be fun. After some time, I'm like, I don't want to do this nonsense. If you have something more, my family, the people I love, or I want to remain functional, or I want to do this, I'm looking forward to the more. That's why I said the 3-step. Freed from the negativity, a life in integrity, and something more. My question is, from my study and my research and my working with a student, somewhere you were made unfaithful to that. And the time you were made unfaithful to that, you don't feel it. This is the ramification of it. When you made something not important, everything, what is important, you neglect it.
Yeah.
And I think the result is these thoughts. I want to quit. What's the point? Suddenly everybody is a philosopher. All of us die. I said, hurry up. All of us die. All of us this. All of us that. What is the point? No, there is this energy going around. And this energy is from people who want to reject the more because they betrayed the more for the less. Right? When a sexual encounter betrays love, eventually it's suicidal. If I never betray my love, this cannot destroy me. It's kept where it's supposed to be kept. But I agree, I acknowledge there are times you feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
I was talking to Amma about this, right? I was like, I feel like me, you, and Aishi have a similar trait. I was like, oh, if something like really bad happens, I feel like the three of us would go on a bender. Like we would just be bad, we would just go on a bender. And I was like, Amma, I feel like you're not that kind of person. Like you would not go on a bender. You would just go home and just like be sad about it at home. But it's like I feel like that's like indicative of a part of us that struggles with keeping on.
Okay. I don't want to be someone today who didn't acknowledge your difficulty. I don't want to. I want to say, I agree, some days are bad, but I'm trying to explain the days that are bad happen because days earlier, somehow I became unfaithful to my bigger vision, isn't it? I'm just saying that. I'm not denying the bad days. Somewhere, something else override something that is the most precious to me. And many people fail to discover that. Right? Fail to discover that. Fail to. Like my father had one quality, he's a good man. That kind of governed him, he's kind, he is compassionate, he is considerate, he's a happy man. And I think no matter what happened, he never betrayed that, even at the last moment till he died. So would he have some down days? I'm sure he would have had. But the down days are just days that he kind of went off the realm. But I only remember him as this man. If he walks into a room, he kind of uplifts everybody. It's very quiet, very beautiful. Holds people, Around him is hard to be sad. Around him is hard to be a non-tolerant person. Around him is hard to be in non-acceptance. And that was the bigger of him that, in my view, survived. Would he have had bad days? Would he have tough time? I'm sure he had. He went through his hell. But this didn't fall. I think whenever you say there are times, oh my God, I want to give up, you have that trait that you think quitting is an option. There's no option. Are you kidding me? And when you say there is no option, then your statement, what is that?
Keep on keeping on.
Then the statement has a positive note to it. Come on, today is a bad day. Like we go fishing or someday we hit a storm.
No, but like if you look at like the genocide in Gaza, right? Then you see that there are people still celebrating like I don't know what they call it. They're like their Hari Raya, they Eid or whatever. They're still fasting. They're still doing things like that. This Christmas, they're still celebrating. Like how that's keeping on.
Yeah. Because you know what? The promise of things being good is there. Most children in the world are being fed. Most of them. I agree this one portion is happening. But this portion trusts what the majority experience, they can experience. Take that away and see what happens. There'll be mass suicide. Isn't it? No, I'm not denying the days you feel down. We all should feel down, I think. Not feeling down is sometimes can be wrong.
It is wrong. It's not letting yourself just feel everything.
Meeting what is going on. But my argument is, did you take your eyes away from the higher, the east? They believe in the third eye. This is the day I was telling when I saw your young pictures. Days to be tired is over. Days to be struggling is over. Day to quit is over. All that is over. Not that the thoughts don't come, not that moments don't happen, but no, there's something bigger.
Yeah, I guess the question here is more like, how do you not like quit your own life?
When you make the I everything, that's when you quit. When you make you, this I, this notion, everything, not that you're part of this more. You know what I mean? You're part of a family, you're part of a clan, a tribe, you're part of a world movement, you're part of a universal movement. When you reduce yourself to the micro, that's when the problem happens. Then you say, oh my God, I'm feeling tired. I'm not saying it's wrong, but don't let it make you go wrong. I remember, I tell you this, a lady got married. This notion stuck in my head. I must have been 10, 12 years old when I could register it. She got married, and a few days later, people are visiting. Suddenly, the bride came out quite undressed, quite undone. I think she just got up from bed and just came out. And I saw this old lady say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And everybody got shocked. You don't want him to continue loving you? Go and fix yourself and come out. I was like, the way she said it in Tamil is so beautiful. Hey.
It's beautiful? What?
No, to do herself up and come. You know what she's saying? Hold that you will be loved. Hold the bigger one. Just because you're lazy to do, don't come up and start showing this. And I thought it was very profound that she was teaching the girl to say, you want to be loved for the rest of your life? You want to be adored? Go, fix yourself and come. You're young. What are you doing? And being said by an old lady, her mouth is red, eating the bitter leaf. I mean, really old, must have been 80 something. And the way she pointed it, I was like, wow, that was amazing. I was like, this is looking at the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
I think what you say about thinking about yourself is forgetting the bigger. Entertain this statement. When you don't want to consider the bigger part of you, when you reject it, you make this all.
Yeah.
So what if I feel a bit tired today? So what if I feel a bit
I
shitty?
get that. I definitely feel like a motivation to live my life is like you guys and all of that. It's not that I'm like so depressed or anything. I'm not. I'm just like
You're just having hangover.
I'm not hungry. I'm actually I didn't even drink yesterday. But no, I'm just saying like this, like I feel like if you guys were not in my life, like you, Aishi or Amma, like I will have like no reason really to want to like put that much effort in my life. Not that I don't want to.
No, the micro,
Yeah.
the smaller will always betray the bigger.
Yeah.
When you have the bigger, the smaller is placed in its space, right?
Yeah, like to me, okay lah, if I cheat a bit, this and that. But because there's other people that I know care about me and they want to see me a certain way, then I'm like, okay lah, I won't cheat, I'll be good.
So what is this topic? I think this happens once in a while. Don't make a big deal out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rest, sleep, get up, breathe.
It's almost like, you know how we talked about like creating your life, and then you was talking about the wish, right? And then like we're talking about this now. This feels like 1, 2, 3 parts of the same sort of discussion.
Yeah, right.
It's like you figure it out, you create it, and then you're like, how do I keep this up? Because like
here I have a movement called the Baldavian.
Baldavi
is a psychiatrist in Sweden. I love him. I love his work. Some of the students who are down or something, I say, go see him. He'll give you he diagnose and he'll give you some medication and all that. Then you're up. Because they go down. They dive, and sometimes they need help to pick themselves up. It could be a biological thing.
No, it's like you're standing inside this life that you've created that you're so unbelievably happy that you have, but you're also really freaking tired and you want to stop for a while.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. There's realignment. But I'm very worried about the word tired, I would pay attention to it. Am I off alignment? Am I doing something I don't want to do? So I would be very cautious. I will take note of it. Like if I get up and I come down and I don't feel like doing this, then I go like, what's going on? I need to pay attention. Like if you have a bad cold, you want to pay attention. Like what's going on? I'm having a fever. You want to pay attention, So My view is, it's a nice thing to say, but I hope that doesn't become your life. Then you drag yourself through life.
Yeah.
And then you really quit. I think you must find ways to find excitement, to find enjoyment, find a bigger reason to keep going beyond the small thing that might trip you. And I think that is your responsibility. And that's your responsibility. Like if you see one genocide picture, I think you go and see 10 other pictures of something beautiful in the world too. So you put it in proportion and then you say, I want to bring this to these people that are suffering. Suddenly there's a reason to live. There's a picture, I wish I could get it. I think it's a flood in Bengal, It's a flood in Bengal and a photographer took a picture. One dead baby drowned and died. The mother sitting, looked like devastated. They lost everything. One child breastfeeding and she's eating something. I say that, humanity. Dead child.
Oh God.
One
okay.
child breastfeeding and she's eating so the child can have milk, I suppose. Oh my God. If there's a reason to quit, all the reasons are there, but there's also all the reason not to quit. There's a surviving
There's
baby.
another baby, yeah.
Can you see the more? You see, the world is making everybody to less.
Mm.
And in the less you collapse, in the more you expand. That's why relationship is important. That's the more of you. It's also you.
Yeah.
It is the one you love. It's the one, your mother, your father, your family, your husband, your children. The more. But do you know what? There's a fashionable to remove the more and to think about yourself. Like people ask me, how are you doing? The family is good. No, I'm asking about you. No, sir, the family is good. No, I'm asking about you. Don't you dare. My family is me. When you separate me from the family, suddenly you're asking, how are you? What the hell are you asking how I am?
That's a friend though.
He's not a friend. I am part of the more. I think whenever you become disassociated with the more, you make the less all. When the less becomes all, you collapse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess like if you just like, it's like we're making it about yourself.
Yeah. And the self that you're making is the notion of separation from all.
Yeah.
I like what Krishnamurti say, I am the rest of mankind. Of course, in the mankind, you want to say, today, this part of the all is not feeling well. Okay. They should have a statistic, 8 billion people on earth. Today, 800 million people are not feeling very good. It's okay. It's 10%.
Yeah, honestly, they should do a daily thing.
I don't think it's 800 million. Maybe 80 million people out of 8 billion people are not feeling good. So it's in proportion. 4 billion are ecstatically happy. Another 4 billion are probably asleep or something. I don't know. But isn't the more you too? Don't buy this bullshit from the West and the 2-bit psychology that they are selling.
Yeah, but it's hard.
I am all that is associated with me, isn't it?
No, but it's also sometimes hard to see yourself and feel yourself in the greater picture of it. I can feel what I am feeling and how I don't this and I don't that.
No, that is feeling, is if your mother is happy, you are happy, I'm happy. Why is that I am not happy? If let's say Anba was doing DJing the other day, amazing crowd was jumping, I'm happy. Even though I'm not the DJ that day. It's part of me. The falsity is the notion, oh, that's him and this is me. No, it's part of me. I think it's a persuasion out of the bigger, and in that you want to find the little bit separated from the all and make the small all. Right?
Yeah.
Krishnamurti's word, I'm the rest of mankind.
Yeah.
And being with the rest of mankind, yes, some people are suffering, some people are okay. Then your line comes in. What is that?
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on, striving for the best for all.
Yeah.
Right? Then you put it in proportion. If not, you exaggerate. Like you have one pimple and then you make the whole face ugly because all you are looking at is at the pimple. I'm not denying it, but I'm saying you are denying the more of you and making the less all.
Yeah. And I guess that's like a simple like piece of advice you can offer. Like when you're in that state, it's just to consider that there's
Do you know
more.
when you were in New York, I was walking in Manhattan, I was crossing near Times Square. Suddenly a family spoke Malay to each other. I from here shouted, Malaysian!
Oh gosh.
Selamat pagi! They went, Selamat pagi! And suddenly, in America, we are like 7, 8 people, Malaysian jumping up and down. It's so nice to see you. What are you doing here? We're talking in Malay. They're like, what is that? There's some more of me. I'm Malaysian suddenly there.
Yeah.
Here, might not. You don't look at somebody Malaysian, you're like, are you mad? It's Malaysia. But suddenly, I met one man who's a martial artist. Many years ago, he's teaching by himself. And suddenly we both kind of tapped each other. Our hand went like that. He said that martial art I learned. I said, yeah, you. Yeah. Our teachers had the same guru.
Oh.
My guru
Yeah.
and his guru had the same guru. And we were like hugging like, what is that? The more of me. But if you're insisting the less of you is you, the more is not you, that's something you are doing.
Yeah.
But I think your statement is valid when I find I'm part of the more. And don't you dare tell the less is you by denying the more. You are the more. With the less, I give you that. I think that's between you and me, that's the argument. Can the less be me too? Of course it can.
Of course it is.
It is. But my worry is the less, when it's exaggerated, it divorces itself from the more.
That's true.
When I leave this country and I go anywhere else around the world, I speak as a Malaysian. I try to bring pride and admiration to my own country, right? That means I bring the more of me, not just the less of me. You get it?
Yeah.
And I think this is the indoctrination. How are you? Like, here's my blood report. Yeah, if you want to know. The moment they say, how are you? They are separating you from the pact. You are part of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that good?
It is good.
Yeah?
Yeah, just remember you're more, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, Apshara.
Oh, full name. Bye.
Bye.